Hey guys, Dennis Wilburn, Active Trend Trader. I want to thank you all for joining us for Trade Your Way to Wealth Live. This is the video recording of it. I am so glad that the month of March is one in the book. It was a very challenging month, but it was a very profitable month, so we're very pleased with that. Stay with us all the way to the end. I'm covering 3 stocks with myself, Steve, and Neil. Great looking stocks for next week, but also I'm going to be covering a trade habit that you may have. If you have this trade habit, you can get over it. There is a way to recover, but if you have it and don't take corrective action, I can almost guarantee you will never reach the level of success as a trader you really want to. Watch it to the end. Let's get into today's session right now. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome to this session of Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom. I'll leave the picture up for a little bit. I want to welcome Neil and Steve. Looking forward to our stock picks today. Thank you for joining, gentlemen.
So good to be here. Thank you.
And so I'm going to go ahead and secure I'm going to secure my video. And if you guys would do the same, I would appreciate that. And we will jump into today's session directly. Yeah, and the reason I'm securing the video, guys, is not, and for everybody online, it's not because we don't want you to see our smiling faces. It's just that it helped with the bandwidth last week, and I want to continue to do that. It seems to help the flow and also the recording of the session. So again, good morning. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. Welcome to Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom, plus some stock picks. We've got some really great stock picks. I'm going to be doing a little bit different format this morning. And but we want to jump right into today's session with basically start your weekly review with Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom Live. That's what we do every week. Anil Parikh, who joins us from the Delaware Meetup Group, and Steve Ferrara, who's here from the Honolulu Meetup Group, are organizers with Meetup who have been doing an excellent job through the years of just being excellent leaders, but also excellent stock pickers and excellent traders. I know I'll do a little bit of a pre-announcement here as I highlight things. The pre-announcement is basically that Anil is going to be presenting to the Bay Area Moneymakers this coming Tuesday evening, 5:30, change in time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. That is California time. And he's going to be presenting on the Delaware focus list that he developed. That basically provides him his basically the stocks he wants to watch and also the triggers to trade the stocks you want to watch. Anil, you got anything you want to say about that?
Yes, and that list is basically a buy list as you get it with a special system that we have developed. I call it triple screen, triple sort, and we'll be talking more in detail.
He's going to be go through, and then a question came up last week, and I'll ask you really quick on that, Anil, is you apply a modified IBD trade system to actually trade into the what comes up on your triple screen?
Yes, but basically they are Ken Slim IBD stocks. I'm just picking early before they break out.
Roger that. I like it. And so anyway, so if you want to, and so, yeah, Barry, I don't know. I think Anil does. If you join the Delaware IBD meetup group, I think he sends out his triple screen on a weekly basis to your member. Do you do that, Anil?
Yeah, whoever is the member they can access the list.
Okay, so there you go. So yes, it's available on that IBD meetup group. So what are we looking at for today? Well, a couple of different things. One is I want to, for the weekly trading ideas and tips, follow Active Trend Trading on the YouTube channel at Market Tech Talk. I provide like 2 or 3 videos per week. One is on the radar midweek, just to say, hey, what's going on midweek? I encourage you, send your friends, send your family over there, and you'll get some good stock picks. Here's where we're sitting at, or here's where we closed out the month of March. As you see, took a slight dip above my 40% line. This is my P&L that I try to track every year. Basically, my target for the year is 40% per year. Done a pretty good job on that. We've had an average over the last 10 years of a little bit over 36%. And I'm not spending all my time watching the market. Here's where we sat last week. We were up on the market, up on the S&P by about almost 15%. And here's where we are today. We had a really good bounce up with the active trend trading. And partly it was due to a mistake. And if you're an active trend trader and in an AutoPilot trading member, you know what I'm talking about. We wound up getting a double position in TNA, and we learned how to ride that last Monday. And it basically provided us a really good pop-up with our value for the weekend. So with that said, well, let's go ahead and jump into the indexes. And here we go. The indexes I'm looking at are is basically, let's start here with the S&P. And so S&P, as we see, this is a daily chart, and I put in the Fibonacci's. We're looking for a Fibonacci pullback. We're getting a very nice little flag pattern pulling back towards what? Pulling back towards one of, maybe this magic fib box here, or just pulling back maybe to the 200-day moving average. If we hit that 200-day moving average and ricochet to the upside, we could get a breakout and proceed on up to the highs from what? First part of this year. This is the first quarter in a couple of decades that the indexes have been down for the first quarter, and so have been in a losing position. So with the spiders, I like it on a pullback down into this area. We have some issues. Okay, one, momentum has shifted to the downside. Momentum on the market forecast has tilted down, but oftentimes, as long as that green line stays above the red line, that means that we basically are going to get just a normal orderly pullback, bull flag, and then a rebound from there. The MACD has tipped over on its histogram, but one of the positive things, and I know Mark Lagerberger liked this one, is the 2-line cluster on the market forecast, which basically tells us that somewhere between the next 1 to 4 trading periods, we should get a reversal in the spiders. And so we'll see if that, in fact, does take place. What does this look like on a weekly chart? Just run over there really quick. It looks like a mess. No, I'm serious. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, on a weekly chart, though, okay, we have to be aware. This is a shooting star candlestick. Let me see if I can get that a little bit closer here. Shooting star candlestick for the week, winding up to being a slightly bearish doji, or bearish harami, off of last week's candlestick. Again, it doesn't tell us, that we're going to fall from the sky, but it is a reversal signal, which could mean, hey, we could get a pullback down deeper into that Fibonacci box, or we could even actually go to the midsection of the candle from 2 weeks ago. So that's what I'm looking at happening there. What about the Nasdaq? The Nasdaq also a nice orderly pullback, looking for it to pull back down into this zone down here, but it may stop just slightly, right at the 50-day moving average, which also corresponds to the 20-day moving average. So on the Nasdaq, we could very well just be getting a reversion to the mean. Reversion to the mean. There we go. And so we'll be waiting. Similar type of things have happened. TSI has turned over. Market forecast has rolled over a little bit, but we're getting, kind of a positive signal in the two-line cluster here. And so it would not surprise me to see if we get down here and bounce, that's the location where it makes the most sense for it to bounce from. And if you're a TQQ trader or a option trader on the Qs, I would put an alert right there at about the 354 level and see if I can, and then once the alert triggers, go in and say, am I getting a reversal signal? And if so, let me go ahead and jump on a trade on this. And so, yeah, a second. Okay, good. And as if I didn't say earlier, please go in and double check or just put any comments in the chat box if you do have any comments and or questions. So that's what we've got with the NASDAQ. What else are we going here? The Russell, excuse me. That's kind of a pretty, okay, on the Russell, similar type situation. Bullish cluster on the market forecast. TSI has crossed over, but on TSI, watch this level here. Is oftentimes that zero line acts as either support or resistance. If I'm approaching it from the top, look for it to be support and you get a rebound. And also that should correspond with a rebound on the index itself. It's finding support where? At the 50, the 20, the 34, and also this breakout level here. Excuse me. This breakout level here, which corresponds to about 204.84. So I'm very positive if we close where we are right now, we've got a two-day pullback on the if you get a two-day pullback, or actually a 3-day pullback, we're getting a bullish harami if we close where we're finishing or where the price action is right now. What does it look like on the, and I wanted to highlight this on the weekly chart because look what it did here. And let me go and get rid of this. Is price action stopped right at in this case, that was the 40-week moving average. The 40-week moving average stopped right there. So that's a great place as you are planning your trades for next week. Find out what the 40-week moving average is. Let me grab that real quick. And you just go up here and you say the 40-week moving average in this particular case is at 211. It's 57. And put an alert, I would say at like 211. And if prices get up towards there, that may, if this fails to push on through, that's where it should fail at and drop from there. So there you go. So that's what I've got going with the indexes, guys. Again, I like the Russell just because it's basically shaping up and it's not reacting as severely as the S&P or the Nasdaq, but then I like the Nasdaq also for a potential trade if the bull flag that it's putting in right now confirms to the upside. Stephen and Neil, what are your thoughts?
I pretty much agree with you, except maybe I'm quite a bit more bullish. I suspect the pullback may be done today.
Okay.
And if you trade higher above today's high on Monday, my conclusion is the pullback is done and is the ideal Wyckoff long-term buy, and we'll be on a very bullish trajectory. But we've got to close above today's high on Monday.
Okay.
Otherwise, we can pull back a little more before that reversal occurs.
Yep, I got it. No, that looks good. Anil?
I'm basically in agreement with Steve. My system, triple screen system, I have no sell signals on it yet, and looks like holding fairly well. So we'll see what happens Monday and Tuesday.
So, and Steve, I want to make be absolutely clear. I am bullish on the market. I would like to see a deeper pullback back into a more traditional level of support.
Sure, and I don't disagree with that, but I don't try to predict where the market is going. I try to react to what the market is doing.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. So cool. So speaking of predictions, that was a good segue, don't you think?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Here's the Steve stock pick for today, bros. Is this Toll Brothers? No, this is Dutch Brothers.
No. Dutch Brothers, a coffee company.
Coffee.
It's on the IBD 50. Has been on the IBD 50 for a while. It's in a very solid uptrend. You could draw an uptrend channel if on the chart.
Okay.
And we're just below the uptrend, the demand line of the up channel, pattern. And it's an area where I expect it to hold. And I would be looking to go long on Monday above today's high.
Okay.
That does not occur, I'd be ratcheting that entry even a little bit lower.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the structure. I like where it's located. It's in an area where I suspect support should hold.
Right.
So I'm looking to buy when we get above today's high.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And this is one of those where it does have the two-line cluster here. Again, that two-line cluster has been really darn good. I mean, Mark, I know you like to use that two-line cluster, a three-line cluster. And if you just want to throw a comment in there, you find it fairly accurate on predicting reversals happening somewhere between the 1 and 4 trading periods after you get the signal. And but yeah, I like it, Steve. I like this pullback. I don't have my volume on the chart simply because I wanted to see the price action a little bit better.
I believe it's a low volume. It's a low volume pullback day. Okay,
excellent. So that's what we got on bros. And then Anil has got another great pick, ENPH, excuse me. That's a little steady climber, isn't it?
Has been.
And so, Anil.
Yeah, that's a solar energy stock, and PAS is one of the toughest screen that I have.
Okay.
And I have a weekly signal on it on a weekly chart this week, so it's a buy.
Okay. And I'll bet did you buy it already?
Yeah.
And did you buy it about where it's at right now?
Yeah, it's where it's about right now. I don't have the exact price in front of me.
Okay. So yeah, that looks really good look at this nice move up. The moving averages are crossing over right here as it proceeds up. And the momentum indicators are all giving him green indications. I like it. And same here. So you're gonna be a buyer right here, and your stop will be at, again, I think 5%. Yes,
5%. Yeah.
So I love to take Anil's picks and just where is 5%? Well, 5% is, as you can see, just slightly below the 8-day moving average in this case, and so it is getting a nice move up. On its last move up, how far did it run? That ran 38%. So that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Got a real quick question. Yesterday on board was a reversal on what? Oh, on bros. Was a reversal on high volume. You going to answer that question, Steve?
Sure, but it's cut right down to support. We're expected to hold. Right? There's no question It was a bad day. The real positive is there's no follow through to a bad day, so it's not as bad as it looks.
Okay, so
There's no
What I
follow
like
through today.
is you can just, throw this up here. Yeah, it has
About
kind of,
there. Yeah.
it has kind of broken the up trend line here. But again, as Steve said,
Yes.
he's waiting for a reversal back above the high of the low day, which is today, before he triggers into the trade. So just everybody keep that in mind. These stocks that we're providing you, we're not just throwing it up against the wall and saying, buy it right here. That's not the case. Because with Steve's technique, he's going to buy a little bit different than me. If I was looking at bros, I'd be looking more for I'd look in the past and say, what moving averages has it respected on the way up? And as you can see, once it broke up above the cluster of moving averages here, where did it go down to? It went down to the 20. Well, it's testing that now. Where's the next one it might test? Well, it may test down at these past lows. That happens a lot. And when I say these past lows, I'm not talking about a low here. I'm talking about just those little ones right there. They're close to where we are. But we know, what do we know when we see those long wicks? We know that that's where buyers came in before.
Right.
Makes sense?
In fact, today it could be a test of that prior low. We got down quite a bit closer to it, and then we didn't stay there. We bounced right off.
Right on. Great question.
I see it as testing.
Great question, Nicole. How's everything on your island? Hopefully well. So, hey, here's mine. This was a pick I think that Steve had a couple of weeks ago. I like it still. It is BX. BX has weekly options. And what are we doing? It is putting in a nice little bull flag, TSI, or market forecast, two-line cluster, the TSI looking like it wants to break up, and it hasn't done so yet. But on the weekly, what's the weeklies looking like? The weeklies are turning back up. On that, the MACD is turning back up. And so it's put in a nice little pattern. And so I would be looking at buying this about the 122 area, or, no, I take that back. I would be good somewhere between the low today, about 126 to 127, and then a stop immediately, below the, if it drops back down below the 50, that would be my stop loss on this one. And I'll give you a number on that. So from low there to low there, yeah, we're talking less than 3%. It's one thing. It should hold the 200. It is back above the 200. And so that's my pick for the day, guys.
Looks good. I like it. I would go in above today's high with the stop below today's low.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anil? Looks good.
I like it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and close off today. One of the things I want to do is I want to make sure that we provide a little bit of a tip. And here's, actions for more consistent trading. And I'm going to cover something really quick right now, is that basically I'm going to tell you to do something. I'm going to say, stop watching the live market. It's a false belief that you have to watch it all the time. Matter of fact, if you find yourself I have to go watch the market, it could be because you're addicted to the adrenaline and the excitement of watching the market go up and down and tick around and all that kind of stuff. Watching a live market increases the probability of making mistakes. That's one reason you should stop doing it. 2, watching the live market increases the probability of being impulsive and compulsive in your trading, therefore opening the door up for unforced errors or pilot errors that you could have prevented and not lost that money had you been doing this. Clarity is found when the market is closed. Plan and place your orders when the Wall Street lights are out. In other words, in the old thing that Henry Ford liked to say, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got, or that's what you've always get. So are you addicted to the rush of the live market? And that's a question you have to ask for yourself. One of the things I've found in a way I've found around it is develop a hobby that is non-related to the market. So, Stephen and Neil, have you ever been addicted to, thinking you got to be in there watching the market?
Oh, certainly, yes.
No more.
And how do you get around it?
No, after I experience, I got around it. I said it's not worth it, so I developed my system, and then I stick to the system, and that's it.
I gotcha.
And for me, it's something similar. I would always watch the market, but my cue was I always had CNBC on, and I've learned to just turn it off. Listen to it.
Good thing to do.
Good thing. Yeah. I almost have no news on whatsoever anymore. I seriously do not. And so anyway, do you start with one of these? Do you spend more than 2 hours per week setting your trades up? Well, you don't have to. Check out AutoPilot trading for both top 5 stocks and leverage ETFs. And you can find it right there at activetrendtrading.com/autopilot YouTube, and that'll take you away to that. And one, if you're a military if you are a military veteran and or a active duty military, I do offer a nice discount for people who want to get onto the AutoPilot trading service. There's the QR code. So with that, hey, remember that all the materials that we do present are for training purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication of or a promise of future performance. And I would like you to ask one thing. As you probably saw, I modified a little bit of the format today to hopefully make the charts a little bit clearer. And if you have some comments about those, please. If you have some comments about those, please, lay those comments down on the YouTube channel or just send me an email on that. And so that takes care of that. And Barbara, I'm working on that with my son. Please be patient. So,
Dennis, I got a quick thing.
Yeah.
April 9th, 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time.
Yes.
Ajit Desai is organizing an event for Ukraine Relief Fund.
Yes.
And there are going to be a bunch of speakers on it, and I'll have the details later on. You probably have it already, but I'll send it out once I get it.
Okay. And that's being put on by Molly, right?
Right.
Okay. And so, yeah, I think there's like 5 or like 10 different speakers. And
right.
it is a fundraiser for a Ukraine effort. So thanks, Neil. So, gentlemen, I just want to say aloha, trade well, prosper, mahalo, God bless. Thank you guys for joining us. I think it was a good session. And again, if you let me know what you think about the formats change we made to today's session, and hopefully it makes a lot more sense. And so with that, I'll say aloha, God bless everybody. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
You're welcome.